Unlock the door to mystery with one very short story. The micro-podcast filled with morally complex characters, twists you won't predict, and endings you won't forget. Every episode is a brief, intense journey, perfect for listeners who crave mystery, intrigue, and stories that leave you thinking long after the tale ends. Today's episode begins now. I'm not a gambler, never have been. I don't trust luck. She's got a mean streak. But somebody dangled a sure thing in front of me, and like an idiot, I bit. Spoiler, it wasn't. Now 2 guys built like refrigerators are hunting me down to collect, and let's just say their definition of interest involves more bruises than math. So yeah, your support means more than ever. I've been tossing stories out for free, like candy to kids who stopped saying thank you. Time to change that. I'm dropping a line of novellas. Longer, darker, stranger tales that don't fit in the usual episode slot. You can grab one for $5 through the link in this podcast description. You'll get a story that'll stick to your ribs and rattle around in your head long after it ends. Buy a book, save a writer, maybe even my kneecaps. But first, before we dive into today's story, the time he died. Here's a little taste of the one I've got up for sale. Now, I'm not saying I'll die without your help, but let's just say my odds improve dramatically with your generosity. A man wakes in a sterile hotel room, his past scrubbed clean, his identity fractured. On his wrist, a barcode. In his hand, a letter written in his own handwriting, warning him not to investigate the echoes of a life he's forbidden to remember. His name is Silas, or maybe it isn't. Each assignment erases more of who he was. Each pill he swallows keeps him obedient. But when fragments of love, loss, and betrayal begin to surface, Silas discovers a truth more dangerous than any target he's ever been sent to kill. Someone wants his memory buried. Someone else wants it restored. And every hour he hesitates, he edges closer to becoming his own executioner. The Lethean by J.L. Stroud Jr. is a psychological thriller, laced with rain-slicked streets, haunting echoes of the past, and a protagonist who may be both assassin and victim, hunter and hunted. For readers who love the paranoia of Robert Ludlum, the atmosphere of Philip K. Dick, and the relentless pacing of Lee Child, this is a mystery that asks one impossible question. If you can't trust your own mind, who can you trust? And now,
the time he died. Marcus's funeral was tomorrow. 3 days of planning, 3 days of people asking if I was okay, 3 days of staring at the cheap digital watch he'd given me for Christmas. The one that still showed the time he'd died, 11:47 p.m. 3 days ago. I'd been obsessively checking it, rewinding it, setting alarms like some broken ritual. I was buying groceries for the funeral reception when the seizure hit. It slammed me in aisle 7, right between the expired yogurt and the energy drinks. When I came to, I was on the floor, blood in my mouth. A crowd of concerned faces staring down. The paramedic was asking if I had epilepsy. But all I could focus on was Marcus's watch on my wrist. The digital display was counting down. 72 hours, 14 minutes, 33 seconds, ticking backward toward 11:47 p.m., 3 days from now. Ma'am, have you been taking any medications? Any history of seizures? I shook my head, watching the numbers drop on my watch. 72 hours, 14 minutes, 28 seconds. The paramedic helped me up. You should see a doctor. This could be serious. I caught my reflection in the store window as the paramedic walked me toward the front of the store. 32 years old, but looking 50. Dark hair tangled, mascara smeared like bruises under my eyes. Marcus used to say I had kind eyes. Now they just looked haunted. Before leaving, I bought coffee. Dropped it in the parking lot when another wave of dizziness hit. Glass shattered across asphalt, brown grounds spreading like guilt. The watch kept counting down to 11:47 p.m. 24 hours later, I was barricaded in the Sunset Motel, room 47. Cheapest place I could find that took cash and didn't ask questions. The desk clerk had given me strange looks when I kept checking my watch, muttering about countdowns, but $40 cash bought silence and a keycard. No kitchen, no knives. I'd tried calling Detective Morrison, the cop who'd handled Marcus's overdose case, about break-ins that probably never happened, about needing protection from a dead man. I left rambling messages about timestamps and digital displays. He never called back. I had the situation handled. The second hallucination slammed into me at 11:47 p.m., exactly when Marcus had died, exactly when my watch reset itself every night. Same death, same throat, same blood. But this time I was dying on bathroom tile instead of kitchen linoleum. Hotel bathroom. Room 47 bathroom. The killer's hands moved differently this time, but I couldn't focus on them. All I could see was Marcus's watch, 48 hours, 13 minutes, 15 seconds, still counting down. I was reaching for my phone to call Detective Morrison when I heard something sliding across the carpet outside my door. It sounded like plastic scraping against the floor. A keycard had appeared under my door. But that was impossible. I was holding my keycard in my hand. The desk clerk had told me this was the only one to room 47. I looked down at my own hand in confusion. My fingers were moving without my permission, sliding my keycard under the door from inside the room. I was making the scraping sound myself. The watch display flickered. 48 hours, 13 minutes, 2 seconds. Someone was whistling in the hallway. Happy birthday. In a minor key, slow and broken. But the sound was coming from my throat, and I couldn't make it stop. I opened the door to run. The hallway was empty. Just me, the flickering fluorescence, and Marcus's watch showing 48 hours, 12 minutes, 47 seconds. 12 hours later, I was in Detective Morrison's cramped office at the precinct, words tumbling over each other like rocks down a cliff. He looked exactly like I remembered from 3 days ago, mid-40s, tired eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses, stubble like steel wool on his jaw, coffee breath that could strip paint. The same cop who'd told me Marcus was dead, who'd asked me to identify the body. He had the weary patience of someone who'd seen too much and believed too little. The watch read 36 hours, 17 minutes, 33 seconds, and I kept tapping the face like it was broken. He's going to kill me. Marcus is going to kill me in 36 hours. Morrison looked exhausted. There were coffee stains on his shirt and papers scattered across his desk. Cassie, we've been through this. You've called here 8 times since yesterday. I've been trying to reach you back. You never called back. Check your phone. I pulled it out. 17 missed calls from Morrison, all from times I couldn't remember. The phone felt foreign in my hands, like evidence of a life I wasn't living. Where's Marcus now? I demanded. Morrison's voice got careful, like he was talking to something dangerous. Marcus Carter died 3 days ago, Cassie. Overdose in his apartment. You were at the morgue yesterday to identify his body. Don't you remember? The hallucination hit me right there in his office, but this time I stayed conscious. Watched my body convulse, watched Morrison grab his radio, watched my own hand keep checking the countdown on Marcus's watch. 36 hours, 15 minutes, 22 seconds. "I'm calling an ambulance," Morrison said. "No." I grabbed his wrist. "No hospitals. Please, just give me some time. I can handle this." Morrison stared at me for a long moment, then slowly put down the radio. "Cassie, when's the last time you slept? Ate something? Took your medication?" "What medication?" But I nodded anyway, let him think I understood. The watch kept ticking. 36 hours, 14 minutes, 58 seconds. I sat in my car outside the precinct for an hour, hands trembling, watching Marcus's watch count down. 17 hours, 42 minutes, 18 seconds. I'd been popping pills from a bottle I didn't remember getting, but they weren't stopping the episodes. Fourth hallucination. My apartment kitchen, but the details kept shifting like bad reception. Green linoleum, then white tile, then carpet. The killer's hands changed too. Sometimes Marcus's, sometimes Morrison's, sometimes mine. But the watch stayed constant, glowing on my wrist. 17 hours, 41 minutes, 55 seconds. I tried calling Jenny, my sister, the only family I had left, desperate for help. Jenny with her practical blonde bob and social worker voice, always trying to fix me, always 3 steps ahead with solutions I never wanted. "You need to help me. I need to stay somewhere safe tonight." Dead air. Then the dial tone I'd been talking to for the last 2 minutes. I looked down. My foot was on the gas pedal. I was driving home. The watch showed 17 hours, 38 minutes, 42 seconds. I didn't remember starting the car. Now I'm home. 2 cups steaming on my coffee table, chamomile tea bags still steeping. I must have made them during another blackout. The spare key was on the counter. Muscle memory letting myself in. "You look terrible," I said to the empty room in Jenny's voice. Perfect impression. "When's the last time you slept?" I couldn't remember. Marcus's watch glowed. 5 hours, 23 minutes, 16 seconds. Time had become elastic, but the countdown stayed steady. "The hallucinations won't stop," I told the silence. "I keep seeing myself die." I reached into my purse. Pill bottles I didn't remember picking up. On the counter, psychiatric evaluation forms from Dr. Brennan. Had I filled these out? When? "The hallucinations aren't real," I said, still using Jenny's voice. My lips were moving, but it sounded exactly like her. "You've been having a breakdown for weeks." "I haven't been drinking." I looked at the sink. Empty whiskey bottle, label soaked off. I could almost remember placing it there, but the memory felt like watching someone else's hands move. The watch kept ticking. 5 hours, 22 minutes, 34 seconds. My voice got softer, channeling Jenny's concerned tone. "We're going to get you help. Real help. But first you need to let go of this delusion about countdowns and death." I looked at Marcus's watch. 4 hours, 18 minutes, 45 seconds. The pattern was clear now. The breakdown had started at Marcus's funeral. The guilt, the isolation, the obsession with his cheap digital watch. Every episode happened at 11:47 p.m., the exact time he'd died. My brain had latched onto that moment, replaying it, counting down to some imagined deadline. The kitchen knife was already in my hand. I must have picked it up while talking to myself, while pretending to be Jenny. The watch showed 4 hours, 18 minutes, 12 seconds. I locked myself in the bathroom, threw the knife across the room. It clattered against the bathtub, metal on porcelain like broken teeth. I pounded on the door from the outside, my own fists making the noise. "Cassie! Open up! You're scaring me!" Jenny's voice coming from my throat. Marcus's watch showed 30 minutes exactly. 30 minutes until 11:47 p.m. 30 minutes until the moment Marcus had died 3 days ago. The final episode was different. I stayed conscious this time, watching my body move without my permission. I could see the truth laid out like evidence at a crime scene. There had never been any psychic abilities, just seizures triggered by grief and guilt, a mind fracturing under the weight of Marcus's death, obsessing over his watch, counting down to the anniversary of his overdose like some broken ritual. Marcus's watch, 14 minutes exactly. I opened the bathroom door myself. The hinges creaked like they always did. I looked in the mirror above the sink. My reflection was holding the knife. No Jenny. Just me, talking to myself in different voices, playing therapist to my own breakdown. The watch glowed. 13 minutes, 45 seconds. 3 minutes. Jenny had never been here. The tea, the pills, the psychiatric papers. I'd done it all during blackouts, episodes where my grief-fractured mind played both patient and therapist. The phone calls, the hotel conversations, the restraining order attempts. All symptoms of a woman who couldn't accept that Marcus was dead and she was alone. But the knife was real. Marcus's watch was real. 30 seconds. The choice was real. 10 seconds. I understood now. The countdown wasn't mystical prophecy. It was my broken brain marking time to the anniversary of Marcus's death. 11:47 p.m., exactly 3 days after his funeral. My mind had given itself a deadline: get help or join him. 5 seconds. In the mirror, I stopped pretending to be Jenny. It's time, Cass. The watch hit 0. 11:47 p.m. I watched myself decide. The knife fell. Blood hit the linoleum with a sound like rain on leaves. Marcus's watch face cracked against the floor, digital display flickering once before going dark. In the mirror, my reflection finally stopped changing faces. The countdown ended. Or maybe it finally began. For the first time in 3 days, I couldn't hear the watch ticking, but I could taste copper, and the kitchen knife was still warm in my hand. Outside, sirens wailed in the distance, getting closer. Morrison must have sent them after all. Did I call him again? I don't remember. Blood was spreading across the bathroom floor. I wondered whose it was.
Thanks for listening to One Very Short Story. If today's story hooked you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It helps us grow and keeps the suspense coming your way. Want to dive deeper? Check out the podcast description to learn more about the show and explore special offers from our sponsor. Until next time, keep dodging bullets and stay safe in the shadows.